Welcome to Alaska Weather, a production of Alaska Public Media and the National Weather Service, Alaska Region. Produced and broadcast daily from the studios of KAKM, Alaska Weather provides complete forecasts, public, marine, and aviation for all of Alaska. Alaska Weather is made possible by the following sponsors.
Alyeska Pipeline Service Company, sustaining Alaska's pipeline and its operations today and into the future.
The National Weather Service.
Hello again, everyone, and thanks so much for joining us here for Alaska Weather on this Monday afternoon. Up on the breakup map here, everything open all the way up, and then the North Slope rivers here, instead of being mostly ice now, a lot of unknowns showing up on them up there with actually some open there in the eastern one. So things finally breaking up in that area. And moving on to satellite imagery, a lot of low clouds in over the North Slope Arctic coastal areas, with fog and flurries mostly on the central and east side, and then off to the southwest, south of the mountains here, excuse me, a lot of sunshine from the Koyukuk Valley all the way out into Kotzebue Sound, Seward Peninsula. Even the Bering Strait looks like it opened up, and sunny skies in areas here over the southwest interior, with clear skies there from Nunivak Island across most of Bristol Bay, and then you pick up some more clouds over the Alaska Peninsula. Out to the west, we've got a lot of low clouds there on the north side of the Fox Island areas, and generally just clouds across the entire Bering Sea and central and western Aleutians. Otherwise, we've got a band of moisture that moved up to the North Gulf Coast today, and showers extended from southern Cook Inlet eastward there right into the Yakutat Northern Panhandle area, and then we're watching the next system down here to the southwest, and the rain shield associated with that is already pressed in pretty close to the southwest coast there, or Prince of Wales Island, and definitely that'll be moving in this evening. We had kind of a break up here over the Gulf of Alaska, then that band of showers extending again from the Kenai Peninsula off to the east, and some of that slipping on up into western Prince William Sound, Whittier, and Portage in those areas. Scattered showers developed this afternoon with increasing thunderstorms back here over the southwest, and also over to the east side, but mainly just showers up to the north there. Again, a lot of sunshine, but breezy conditions, east to northeast winds in the 10 to 20 mile per hour range, picked up to about 15 to 30 miles an hour here in the northwest, and then the eastern Arctic coast, Point Leyad gusts close to 40 miles per hour this afternoon, and we've got a pretty strong, sharp ridge here along the Gulf of Alaska, and that pushing marine air in, cooling the temperatures off, especially over Cook Inlet and into the northern Cook Inlet area, with winds gusting a little over 40 miles an hour today at Anchorage International Airport, but that not reaching the Susitna Valley yet, so temperatures were in the 70s there this afternoon. And for tonight, some good solid rain will roll in across the southeast coast, with the front approaching the coast there. Gale warnings out for tonight for Clarence Strait and all of the coastline there. Otherwise, just mostly cloudy, scattered showers, Kenai Peninsula, down across Kodiak Island, and look for thunderstorms this evening back over the southwest areas, and that'll extend up along that trough axis to the northeast. And still dry, cool, and breezy up here over the north central interior and all the way out to the Chukchi Sea. No change over the north slope tonight, with that high to the north continues to circulate the low clouds, flurries and fog in across the area there, but no change over the Bering Sea. Winds mostly north 10 to 20, and a few areas of light showers or fog and drizzle here, especially on the north side of the Alaska Peninsula, eastern Aleutians, also a chance of that out over the central Aleutian areas. And looking ahead to tomorrow, high pressure holding there just north of the Arctic coast, and some lingering flurries, patchy fog on the east side, maybe a VFR day there along the eastern Arctic coast, and again down into the Bering Strait, Seward Peninsula, and should be mostly sunny here with just some scattered mixed stuff isolated along the Brooks Range. Otherwise, trough right through here, continuing to produce more clouds and even cooler temperatures tomorrow, with showers breaking out into the afternoon from along the mountainous areas of the Kenai Peninsula, the Chugach up into the Talkeetnas, and possibly even the Susitna Valley, and that extends across the Copper River Basin and to a certain extent into the eastern Tanana Valley, and then more thunderstorm activity in store for the southwestern along the trough over the mostly the Kuskokwim Delta area into the valley, and then just some widely scattered showers across Bristol Bay, but look for a few more clouds, especially on the north side of the Alaska Peninsula, and about the same over the last couple of days for the eastern Aleutians. No change in the Bering Sea, except a little less gradient, so maybe some lighter winds, and that same pattern all the way out to the west, with high pressure really dominating the area. One center up here, another one off to the west. And this low front moves through tomorrow to roughly this position in a much weakened state. Most of the moisture pulls back to the west, and then some of it pushes inland, so the winds will be lighter, but it looks like periods of rain continue through tomorrow for much of the southeast coast, and that extends distance offshore before it becomes more showery, and that's going to be quite a slow-moving feature there. For the outlook on Wednesday, the low drifts eastward and weakens, and definitely more showery for the moisture and rainfall here for the Panhandle, with the heaviest amounts along Prince of Wales Island all the way up to Elfin Cove, with less of that toward the east. And still a trough here, southeast interior, mostly cloudy, scattered showers, and less thunderstorm activity, but probably some will pop out here over the southwest, with that 1,010 millibar low over the Yukon Delta. Mostly cloudy, a few scattered showers up there over the west, and variably cloudy, Brooks Range, upper Yukon Valley, and then probably staying mostly socked in along the central and eastern Arctic coast with patchy areas of fog, but better out here to the west with continued offshore flow. And then possible fog areas, low clouds, and light winds, St. Lawrence Island, and down into a weak trough out here to the west. Again, a lot of clouds, areas of IFR, maybe some showers, definitely some fog, and kind of cloudy, showery conditions for the eastern Aleutians to the western Alaska Peninsula, and tending to dry out a little bit with the building ridge out there towards Chimney-At too. And for the temperatures this afternoon, across the Panhandle, 50 to 55 for the most part, but Skagway up to 59 this afternoon. Sitka had 52 degrees, and Wrangell 54, and they picked up about 0.15 of an inch of rain today. During the day today, 12-hour amounts, anywhere from just a few hundredths, again up to maybe a tenth or two of precipitation, but some areas had upwards of a half an inch falling. Along the North Gulf Coast, cooler, 49 at Cordova, 54 in Bethel, or at Valdez, 52 in Homer, just 49 at Kenai. All that marine air coming up the inlet there, and Anchorage fallen to 59 from around the mid-60s earlier today. Susitna Valley this afternoon, all locations were in the lower 70s, 72 at Squintna, and then up to the north, upper 40s to mid-50s here over the Tanana Valley. Northway up to 63, Gulkana had 68, but back to the west, Tanana at 56 today, and then you warm back up here to the south and southwest. Otherwise, the Koyukuk Valley, mid-50s up there at Bettles, and a 43 at Fort Yukon. 30s through the Brooks Range, north slope edging up a little above freezing there at Umiat Airfield, and then we had mid-upper 20s here over the central and eastern Arctic coast, but AKwx pushed up to 31, and then more windy kind of clearing in that offshore breeze there. 30s here on the west side, and mid-50s at Kotzebue today, with 39 at Shishmaref and Point Hope. Looking across the the Seward Peninsula, quite a range here. You got 38 at Tin City, 56 at Teller, back down to 47 at Nome. White Mountain had 62, and again 68 at McGrath, and pretty good 60s out here, 70. Not the high there. I think they're in the lower 70s for the high at Bethel this afternoon. Lower 40s along the coast, 41 at Macoriac, while Savunga had 37, and right around 40, kind of cool there for the Pribilofs, and then mid to upper 40s for just about all of the Aleutian chain, with quite a range here, 46 at False Pass, and then 51 at Cold Bay. Sandpoint, again on the south side, and received more sun, pushed up to 63, and mid-60s here, both at Dillingham and King Salmon. Low temperatures tonight, mid to upper 40s for the southeast coast, about the same, looking at all 40s here, south central Alaska, Copper River Basin, to upper 40s over the southwest, and then lower to mid 40s Alaska Peninsula, 30s for the Aleutians and the Pribilofs, near freezing for St. Lawrence Island. And again, along and north of the Brooks Range, temperatures low 20s for the lows, and they recover again back up into the 25 to near 40 there, with the warmest temperatures, of course, over the north slope in towards the Brooks Range. South of the mountains, 45 to 50, and just 50s here in the Tanana Valley. Back up into the lower 60s, continuing the cooling trend even out in this area, with temperatures possibly rising into the 60s over the Susitna, Matanuska Valley areas, but most other locations will be stuck in the mid to upper 50s, Copper River Basin, mid-50s for all of the southeast coast with the clouds and rain, 40s out to the west. And for flying weather tomorrow morning, some IFR here from roughly Sitka down across the west side of Prince of Wales Island to the Queen Charlottes, and this area stuck out in the Gulf. Otherwise, marginal VFR to start today for the remainder of the southeast coast. Some marginal stuff here, western Prince William Sound, down across the southern Kenai Peninsula to Kodiak Island. A lot of IFR again along the Arctic coast and North Slope, but VFR here toward the Bering Strait and then back into the IFR, St. Lawrence Island, in across the Bering Sea, becoming marginal again across the Aleutians. And then for tomorrow afternoon, kind of bounced by that one. Anyway, Anaktuvuk looks marginal, and Adigan, same forecast, but Lake Clark and Merrill will remain VFR through tomorrow, as well as rainy. And windy, VFR. Isabel, no change, another VFR day coming up, as well as for Mentasta. Tonito will be VFR, and Portage VFR, becoming VFR in the afternoon, starting out marginal. And then for Chilkoot and White, marginal VFR. Taking a look at the freezing levels, warmer air mass out here to the west, 6,000 feet. And then that cooler air is continuing to seep southward here, so 2,000 feet now down across the Tanana Valley, 4,000 feet along and just south of the Alaska Range, and then things warm up again, 6,000 to 8,000 feet down south along the Panhandle, and then cooler air out here over the Bering Sea and the Aleutians. Icing tomorrow, well, none out here west side or the Bering Sea, but with the trough and that moisture, we're looking at maybe about 5,000 feet of more of a mixed variety out in this area, while this zone with that moisture coming northward and then kind of pulling back to the west, that'd be mostly of the light isolated rime variety, and at all above about 7,000 feet. And then for the upper level wind flow, again, low pressure now edging its way eastward into the Gulf of Alaska. Definitely a wet weather pattern with that southwest flow into the Panhandle, and still some weak ridging across southern Alaska. And then we've got northeast flow, pretty brisk, 100 knots there, coming down on the eastern Arctic coast, and then swinging back to the west and then northwest with a pretty good trough right in through this area, and kind of a broad trough out over the Bering Sea with northerly flow to the west. And for 9,000 feet, easterly flow, 20 to 25 knots in the interior to the Arctic coast. becoming quite light here, just 5 knots Copper River Basin, and northwest flow here across the Panhandle, or the Alaska Peninsula into the Bering Sea, but only at 10 knots. Stronger winds in the Panhandle there, especially along and off the coast, 25 to 30 knots. And we'll see at 3,000 feet, about the same thing, pretty brisk out of the east and northeast along the Arctic coast. Lighter inland, picking back up to 20 to 25 there, Koyukuk Valley back to the west, and then light winds again, 5 to 15 knots, Copper River Basin, south central Alaska. Northwest flow here across the southeast Bering Sea and the Aleutians, not all that strong. And again, the band of winds here mostly along and off the coast. For turbulence, below about 6,000 feet, Queen Charlotte, and again, right along the coastline and to the west, kind of pulling back over toward Cordova. And mechanical turbulence possible here, but nothing too significant. Kodiak Island, Iliamna Lake, Kamishak Bay, lee side of the Alaska Peninsula. More widespread up here where there's more wind. Light to isolated moderate below about 6,000 feet, anywhere in the shaded area, all the way up across the Arctic coast. And after hangar flying, I'll be back with a look at the marine forecasts.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Mary O'Connor. Welcome to Hangar Flying. Thanks to the Alaskan Aviation Safety Foundation and the National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health for their support. I'd also like to thank Alaska Public Media for their support of this program, which helps keep Alaskans up to date and informed about aviation events in Alaska. This evening, we are pleased to have as our guest Tom George. He is the Alaska Regional Manager for the Aircraft Owners and Pilots Association. Tom, welcome to Hangar Flying.
Thank you. Pleasure to be back.
Tom, you're based in Fairbanks, and we know that you've got a lot going on, and in addition to all of your regular activities, you've been busy planning an annual event that takes place in Fairbanks. Can you tell us, what is the Fairbanks Aviation Day?
Fairbanks Aviation Day is an airport open house. It's an opportunity for the public to come out to the airport and learn about all facets of what happens there.
So who comes out? Who's invited to this event?
A wide variety from families, youth, adults, anybody that wants to come. It's open to the public and free of charge.
Oh, that's great. Where did this idea come from? Who organizes the event?
Well, the event, there's a long history, but today the event is organized by the Airport Operators Council, which are kind of the business organizations that are active at the airport. But it's participated in by the Experimental Aircraft Association, the Alaska Airmen's Association, of course my organization, AOPA, and many businesses, the airport itself, and the FAA.
So it sounds like a good opportunity for people just to come to the airport and see what's there.
It absolutely is. It takes place at the University of Alaska's aviation facility on the East Ramp, or the general aviation side of the airport. And it starts at 7 a.m. in the morning with a pancake breakfast, so a chance to get some food and kind of contemplate the day's activities. And about 9, it kicks into full gear when probably the biggest attraction is EAA's Young Eagles program. That's an opportunity for youth to make a flight in a general aviation aircraft, but with many other activities going on in parallel.
And you said that it's free to attend the event. Are the rides free as well?
Yes. Yes, the aircraft rides are free. About the only thing that isn't free is food. We do accept donations for breakfast, or there'll be a lunch in the afternoon time frame.
Okay. And are there opportunities to maybe look at aircraft? Maybe people aren't necessarily willing to go for a ride yet. Maybe they just want to sit in an airplane.
Well, probably the second most fun attraction, especially for the younger set, is they call it the Fun Banks Airport. This is a scale model of the east side of Fairbanks. By scale model, I mean 70 feet long, 30 feet wide. It is the layout of the runways and all the taxiways with the official markings used. And real air traffic controllers will direct kids to be able to taxi, take off, and make a circuit around the pattern with assistance if they need it. And so it's a way to get an exposure to how airplanes operate in and out of the airport. And that's again a big draw that has made people happy for a number of years. And outside there'll probably be 24 aircraft on static display, so you can walk around to see what different kind of airplanes look like and what functions they serve. There'll be information that lets you know what people do with those airplanes.
And for hands-on activities, is there something that people can do to keep busy and
Well, of course, there will be a bunch of exhibitor tables so you can actually talk to various businesses and organizations about different aspects of aviation. This year, for the first time, the FAA is teaming up with an RC club in Greeley and Big Delta, and we'll have some kind of a hands-on ability to fly a small drone in a confined area to get a little experience with that whole new dimension of aviation.
Wow. It sounds like there's something for everybody, whether they're a pilot or involved in a piloting family, or they just have never been to the airport.
Well, and for adults, but anybody that wants, there is an airport tour, which will be a bus ride around, but unlike what you might see outside the airport, this is inside the fence. This is the area that the public never gets to see, even as passengers of an airliner. So that's another way to actually kind of get an idea of what the businesses on the airport are all about and what the different parts of the airport, how they function and what they do.
Sounds like a good opportunity to see something that you might not ever see again.
Or to get interested in something that might become a future career. You never know.
That's true. So can you remind us where and when?
So this coming Saturday starts at 7 a.m. at the university's Aviation Center on the east ramp of Fairbanks International Airport, or South University Avenue. To get there, starts at 7 a.m. Most of the activities kick into high gear at 9 a.m. and it runs till 2 in the afternoon. And we'll shut things down and go home at that point.
And if somebody was looking for some more information, where could they go?
We do have a website which has a list of the activities. The address is cryptic and long, so the best thing would be to Google Fairbanks Aviation Day 2016, and that'll direct you to the website with a whole bunch more information.
Great. Thank you so much, Tom. It's been a pleasure. We look forward to seeing you this Saturday at the airport at Fairbanks Aviation Day.
Thank you. Look forward to seeing everybody there.
Thank you. Hope you have good weather and a good turnout. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Alaskan Aviation Safety Foundation, thanks for watching Hangar Flying. Until next time, fly safely.
Welcome back. For the coastal areas, small craft advisories are gales tonight and then south 30 knots tomorrow with 12 to 13 foot seas, southeast and gale force southeasterlies along the north coast, south 15 for northern Lynn Canal, and then some pretty good small craft advisories in the forecast here for the central and southern inside waters. Then for Wednesday, those drop back a little bit, still carrying small crafts there in Clarence Strait. Just 10 knot winds for northern Lynn Canal, south 25 on the south coast, southeast to east to the north. And for the Prince William Sound forecast, variable winds at 10 tomorrow, easterlies 30 knots, so some good small craft advisories here for the North Gulf Coast, and then that swings around to the north at 25 across the Barrens and down the east side of Kodiak Island, while Shelikof Strait is lighter and more variable. Light westerlies for Kamishak Bay and a light southwest breeze tomorrow afternoon for Cook Inlet. And then for Wednesday, not a lot of change out here. South to southwest 10 to 15, down picking up to 20 knots for Shelikof Strait and the east side of Kodiak Island. And then we've got light variable winds, slight seas here for the North Gulf Coast from the Barrens into Prince William Sound. Bristol Bay, southwest 15 tomorrow, westerlies 15 to 20 knots, strongest on the north side there for the peninsula, and in Sitkinak to Castle Cape, northwest 20. Small craft advisories, though, picking up for Bristol Bay on Wednesday, west to southwest for the Alaska Peninsula, right up to Kodiak Island. And for the eastern Aleutians, northwest 10 to 15 knots, becoming a little more northerly there across Adak and Atka, northwest 15 to 20 for the western zones. And that holds through Wednesday out there, and then we go west, light, just 15 knots for the central Aleutians, turning more southwesterly and extending all the way across the Fox Islands. Along the southwest coast tomorrow, northwest 15, light northerly winds for St. Lawrence Island, north 15 for the northern Bering Sea, turning northwest down across the Pribilofs. And for Wednesday, those turn south at 15. And then we've got northeast at 20 for St. Lawrence Island, westerlies 15 to 20 knots for the southwest coast. Up along the Arctic coast, easterly winds, brisk wind advisories here from Cape Thompson up toward the central coast, driving back 20 knots, and then 20 to 25 knot easterlies there on the east side. And then for Wednesday, we've got brisk wind advisories here for the eastern Beaufort Sea, and central coast, no change, and really no change. Brisk wind advisories here on the west side, but dropping down to 15 knots as you drop down toward Wales. And for tonight again, no change up here over the Arctic coast. IFR, or marginal, patchy areas of fog and flurries. Otherwise breezy, cool, and mostly clear here to the southwest from the Kobuk Valley all the way out into the Chukchi Basin. And then the low here over the southwest interior. Pretty good thunderstorms popping up out there right now, and that'll linger into this evening and then tend to diminish back with some activity along this trough axis. And then a front rolling in, gale force winds here along the southeast coast into Clarence Strait with some pretty good rainfall spreading across the entire area. And that lasts through tomorrow, although the front moves through. Still a lot of moisture even behind, hanging back to keep it wet there for the Panhandle. Showery along the North Gulf Coast, and then showers along this trough axis from the eastern Alaska Range back to the southwest, with some thunderstorms developing again out in that area. And then for Wednesday, the low weakens and slides eastward, keeping some pretty good showers going and cloudy skies there across Prince of Wales Island up to Elephant Cove, and to a much lesser extent to the north and toward the border, and then cloudy and showery for the southern interior. Let's look at the weather. Thanks for joining us.
These forecasts are to be used for planning purposes only. Call 1-800-WX-BRIEF for a formal pre-flight briefing. Always file a flight plan before you go flying. The U.S. Coast Guard Auxiliary urges you to leave a float plan with a friend or the harbor master before you go boating. Alaska Weather is made possible by the following sponsors.
The National Weather Service.